What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Divisional Round of the NFL playoffs. My name is Ron, and I got my cuz with me once again, Mr. Dan Scott. What's up, Dan?
What's up, everybody?
Yeah,
Thank you for having me back on this wonderful show.
Yeah. Last week, there was a few surprises. If you were going to bet your money, there was a few surprises, but the San Francisco 49ers and Seahawks game was not one of them. I was surprised it was so close at halftime, but then in the second half, just San Francisco took off, and just like we said in the last show...
Shit. Here come Debo. Give me your stuff.
Shit.
Debo got on their ass. And that rookie quarterback, Brock Purdy, he did a fantastic job. What'd you think about that performance from the 49ers?
Oh, Mr. Irrelevant as the QB is my new thing. From now on, I'm going to pick a QB as my last pick in the draft, and maybe I can get a Purdy. But the game was close. The Seattle Seahawks at halftime, you're like, I'll take the Seattle plus money or plus points. And eventually, I guess at halftime, they flushed the toilet.
Yeah, speaking of flushing the toilet, 27-0. The Chargers are beating the Jags. All Trevor Lawrence can do is throw interceptions. I mean, he's throwing more interceptions than completions. It was like 4 interceptions in the first half. They were trying to run the ball, but the running wasn't working. So, I guess pass it, and then boom, another interception. It was 27-0 at halftime. How did the Chargers let the Jags come back? I have no idea.
Oh, that game.
That one was embarrassing. Yeah.
That game. That reminded me of the Super Bowl, obviously, with the Falcons and the Patriots with Tom Brady. And that type of debacle, when you don't come back and you can't score no points in the second half, you don't deserve to win. You don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
Whatsoever. And speaking of not deserving of playoffs, Brady, you made it to the playoffs with a losing record. Somehow the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got into the playoffs. You are Tom Brady. No one would, in their right mind, would put money against Brady in the playoffs. But Grandpa Brady and the Bucs, they let the Cowboys not just play, but have the game of their career, that very first playoff win ever. So now they can be matched up against San Francisco like the old days. Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith situation, Deion Sanders. It's set up for this ultimate rematch of back when both teams were good back in the 90s. Now they're good again. But, man, Brady and the Buccaneers, I thought it would be a better game than that. I mean, they weren't even on the same page. Brady and Mike Evans weren't on the same page at all, man. What'd you think about that one?
No, it's sad to see one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time sort of go out like that. I don't know if he's going to retire or not. But at the end of the day, Brady, he had a great career. Tampa Bay Bucs probably didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. And we're moving on from them. It's like my 2-9 bets. I mean, don't pay attention, folks. We just keep it moving.
Speaking of keeping it moving, the Miami Dolphins were playing the Bills. I mean, if everyone was healthy, that was the game. I mean, that would have been the game if both teams had stayed healthy all the way to this point. That very possibly could be the AFC Championship matchup between the Dolphins and the Bills. But with injuries and everything that happened through the Dolphins and the Bills this year, I thought the matchup, I thought the Bills were going to just beat them like not even close. 15, 16 points, but that game came down to the last drive. I could not believe how close it is and how Buffalo just kept giving more and more opportunities for Miami to come back and get the lead again. That one was very surprising. Even that Buffalo never pulled away. It was close all the way down to the very end. And I don't think that's very promising for next week. Even though you won, you didn't win as convincingly as maybe you should have based on who was playing and everything. But like you said, it's time to move on. It's time to move on from that game if you're a Bills or if you're a Dolphin. It's time to move on from that game. You lost or you won. At the end of the day, it's win and loss. You won. You're going on to play the Bengals. So this week is going to be the matchups. I think this is probably going to be the best games this weekend will be the best football of the whole entire season. Better than the Super Bowl, better than the championship games. The Jaguars and the Chiefs, however, is not going to be the best game. I see the Chiefs completely dogging out the Jaguars, especially if they're going to be making as many mistakes as they made against the Chargers. There's no way the Chiefs are going to let the Jaguars bounce back from 4 interceptions. So I got the Chiefs, but Danny, what do you have on this Jacksonville Jaguars and Kansas City Chiefs? Is there any chance at all the Jaguars can win this game?
Zero chance. I would imagine that the Jaguars can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are a powerhouse. They've been around. They just won the Super Bowl. They got Patrick Mahomes. They got Kelsey. I mean, they're just an offensive juggernaut. And the Jaguars,
they didn't just
great.
win. Brady beat them. And then, the Bengals and the Rams played last year where the Rams won. So they didn't just win the Super Bowl. It's been years since they've been in the Super Bowl, but they've always had a Super Bowl team. Somehow the Bengals beat them last year in the AFC Championship. And this year could be a replay of that one. But for the Jags and the Chiefs, I don't see the Jags as a championship team or a championship game contestant. So I got the Chiefs minus 8.5. And I also have the over on 53. Lock that.
And that's a lock.
Woo, lock that. That's a bold prediction. The 8.5 is definitely all day. Definitely all day. Chiefs will, they should steamroll them. They're going to be fired up in Kansas City. They're hungry. I mean, I think the Chiefs have only lost 3 games this year. They're 14-3. They are a powerhouse. The offense is a powerhouse. The defense is coming together. That's always been their flaw. The offense is great. Defense, not so great. But this year, the defense has pulled through. I'm changing all my predictions. The Kansas City Chiefs will win the Super Bowl. I'm going to go out and buy me a hat. And I'll definitely take the Kansas City Chiefs minus 8.5. And I'm going to take the under at 52.5 because I don't think the Jaguars are going to score. And I believe the game's probably going to be somewhere around 38-10.
Wow. So the Chiefs and the under, that's what we got. Dan Scott on that one. I definitely have the Chiefs minus 8.5 and going over 53. 53 is a big number. I think we're going over. Now, NFC East. The NFC East was the best division. The NFC East back in the 90s, the Giants, the Eagles, the Redskins, the Cowboys, these teams were always the teams that were trying to make it to the Super Bowl. They were always playing to get into the Super Bowl. There was even the Arizona Cardinals at that time, in the NFC East. But it hasn't been the same NFC East until maybe this year. You have the Giants, you have the Eagles, and you have the Cowboys. All of these teams are the best teams in the NFC. And this weekend, you're going to see the Giants and the Eagles play Saturday night. This is going to be a fantastic game with Jalen Hurts finally back in the roster. Not concerned one bit about the Giants. Jalen's pretty confident that they are going to win this game. But I don't think the Giants agree.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So who do you have on the Giants, Eagles? It's Eagles minus 7.5.
Yeah, but that right there, you fired me up kind of bit. With Hurts is coming back and all that. Originally, I had the Giants at plus 7.5, but I think you're on to something. Hurts is going to be back. It's prime time, baby. It's Saturday night. He's going to show the world that he is the next level. He is the next quarterback of the future of the NFL. Him, Mahomes. You got Trevor Lawrence, even though he lost. You got Joey B. So it's going to be a great week for Jalen Hurts. I'm going to change my bet. I don't know if this is good or not, but originally I had the Giants plus 7.5 and the over at 48. I will still take the over at 48 and give me the Philadelphia Eagles minus 7.5. I think they're going to rout the Giants, even though I just did see a video of Danny Dimes doing the gritty, which always is fun. So with that, I will definitely take the Eagles minus 7.5, and I will definitely take the over at 48.
All right, well, that's interesting because I have the Giants winning this game. And not even 7.5. I'm talking about straight up. This is the bet.
Hold on. How can you have the Giants win? You say the Giants are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles with Hurts back?
Giants are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles with Hurts back. They're going to beat them even up.
Wow.
Not with the 7.5. Not Vegas beating them. A straight up, even up beating them. The Giants are going to beat them. It's going to be a low-scoring game. Money line. It's going to be a low-scoring game. 17-14. It's going to be under the 48.5. I'm going with the under. I'm going with Giants even up. And I would say this is a triple bet.
A triple bet.
Triple bet
Woo!
lock. This one right here is going to have you with a stack of cash in your pocket this weekend. That right there is my lock.
And that's a lock.
Now, moving on.
Amazing. That is amazing.
Well, you might have a stack of cash in your pocket that's coming out of your pocket, so it goes on the table for the money that you owe. But anyway.
Well, to let the people know, it's plus 280 for the Giants to win straight up. So, I mean, you bet $100, you win $280.
Yeah, it's 280. I'm in it all day. I got $350 on that deal. So that would be a nice little jump. Now we have the Bengals and the Bills.
Sunday.
The Bills minus 5.5. Yeah, Bills minus 5.5, over under 49.5. The Bengals, the Bills, this is definitely AFC Championship contending teams. The Bills and the Bengals are both the best teams in the NFL. The Bengals made it to the Super Bowl last year by beating the best team, the Chiefs. They made it and represented the AFC in the Super Bowl. I don't see any reason why this isn't the best game.
The game of the week.
With the Bengals and the Bills. And what do you think on this one? I'm not sure right this second.
This game right here, let me tell you about this game. This game, I believe it was a rematch last year, and the Bills and the Bengals play each other real hard. And the Bengals obviously won because they went to the Super Bowl. I picked them to win the Super Bowl. I bought a Bengals hat. And then the Super Bowl came and the Bengals lost. That being said, I'm not going to stray from the Bengals. I love the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals, Joey B. Give me the Bengals plus 5.5 all day. And give me I don't know. The under over is 48.5.
49.5.
If I'm up, okay, you got 49.5. I'm definitely taking the Bengals plus 5.5. Joey B. The Bills are done. We're giving CPR on the field. I hope they do that as a touchdown celebration. I want to get real evil on them. You know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
Let's take the Bengals minus 5.5. And let's give me the over at 49.5, you said. Give me the over.
Faux show.
I want the Bengals to run it up.
And the over. All right, well, the Bengals and the Bills, this is going to be a high-scoring game. High-scoring game, 100%. When the other team scores, you feel like an obligation to go for it on fourth down in your own territory because you have to put points on the board every time you have an opportunity when you play an opponent like that. Field goals, they're nice, but they're not going to get the job done. You need to get in the end zone every time you get the ball. I think it's definitely going to be a high-scoring game, but I think the Bills are going to win. Will they win by 5.5? Yeah, let's put that in there. I got the Bills minus 5.5. Joe Burrow, he did a fantastic job. He made it to the Super Bowl. He has all the cool clothes. He's the Joe Namath of our generation. Young kid out there doing his thing, smoking cigars. But he's not Josh Allen at this point. He doesn't have the defense that the Bills have. They're not on fire like the Bills are, but Joe Burrow can do magic tricks. I think he can win this game, but my money's on the Bills minus 5.5, and I will take the over.
All right. I like that. That's big things right there. And all that makes sense. So it upsets me that we can't agree on some bets, but that's gambling. You know what I mean? Your best friend one day is like, oh, man, let's go all in on the Bills, or let's go all in on the Bengals. It's called gambling, folks.
It's almost
to bet to get the sweat.
I'm just fading every bet that you bet because I know that if you say one's going to win, I know it's going to be the opposite.
That's a one-time thing. I promise you, everybody. That was a one-time thing.
So you got the 49ers are hosting the Cowboys. 49ers, Cowboys. This is going to be the game I think most of America is going to be watching on Sunday night. This is the game that's going to bring back those memories of back when you thought that the Dallas Cowboys was a Super Bowl contending team. A lot of the Dallas Cowboys fans think that right now. And they did win their first playoff game ever, since the 90s, but it's still Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? I mean, you might have made it past, and had a career highlight on Tampa Bay, how they're not playing very good, and Grandpa Brady, but you're not going to go into San Francisco and beat them like that. You're going to take that L. I got the 49ers -4 all day, but I do have the over. 46, I do have the over. Brock Purdy gets the job done. Just don't make the big mistake. Get your ball into the hands of Christian McCaffrey. Get it in the hands of Deebo Samuels. The defense is fantastic. The 49ers is the team to beat. They're definitely going to beat the Cowboys. And it's going to be pretty sad to hear all the whiny, complaining Cowboy fans. They should be used to this kind of treatment and these kind of losses that they take. That's embarrassing. You had your hopes up. You spent your whole paycheck on gambling, trying to support the Cowboys. And then they let you down like they do every single year. But it wasn't last week against Brady. You did get that win, but you're not going to get the win this Sunday night against the 49ers.
Faux show.
And that's a lock.
Most importantly, you're probably 100% right on that. The 49ers are strong, even with Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. They're just too strong. They're just too strong. Kyle Shanahan, I love Kyle Shanahan. His dad, Mike Shanahan, from the Broncos back in the day, won Super Bowl. He brought him to be a Washington Redskins coach. I love Kyle Shanahan. I think he's going to get it done. Dak Prescott he's not that great. I don't care. I don't care about lamb tree or lamb shakes. None of them Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely with you on this. Zeke, the geek, what a nerd he is. Give me the 49ers -4, and definitely give me the over.
Oh, so
That's
we got
a
the
lot.
same on that one there.
We're 100% agreement on that.
46 and over. Well, that's the picks, and that's the NFL. This weekend is where it all goes down with the two games on Saturday, the Jags and the Chiefs, the Giants and the Eagles, the Bengals and the Bills and the Cowboys, and the 49ers complete the Sunday.
This is a presentation of Kingdom Radio and Y Sports.